Coach, last year you guys had a lot of young players up front. What have you seen from guys that were in that freshman class last year in terms of improvement? What has changed in this last year?
And the biggest thing that's changed is those guys as far as preparation. Obviously, they're a year into the program now. The way they trained over the spring, the way they trained over the summer, is getting bigger, stronger, faster. Just understanding, what it means to play as a unit. I think those guys have done a really good job.
We'll go back behind the lights on the right side to Ben.
Coach, just curious over the last few years, obviously you guys have had a lot of success on the recruiting trail with that defensive line unit. Curious what your message is to high-profile guys who, don't have anything against maybe A&M, but just see the numbers of guys in that room and, how they're going to work their way onto the field, not to be too concerned about that.
The biggest thing is hopefully when they watch the film, they see that we like to roll guys. We like to play in units, and continue to keep guys fresh. So if they see that and they get a chance to hang around the guys, I think that trumps everything else as far as numbers.
We'll go third row on the left side to Tyler and then Cole.
Coach, who have you seen and made that maybe has surprised you the most, or have you been impressed by the most, making kind of the jump from last year to this year in their improvement?
Like I said, to point out one person would be hard. I think all those guys did a pretty good job. You look at the young guys, you look at Scarlett, look at Micaiah Overton, like at Gabe Dendy. All those guys are continuing to get better, and you're seeing an improvement for those guys, which should happen going into being here after a year.
And then how is kind of the defensive line and just that unit kind of maybe grown stronger or rallied together with the passing of Terry Price and just dealing with all that?
Yeah, obviously, Coach Price meant a lot to many of us, not just the D-line. But I think the biggest thing I see out of this unit is they don't care who gets the credit. And that's the biggest accomplishment you can have as a unit. If you don't care who gets the credit, you just want to work as a unit, I think that's when you got a special group.
We'll stay on that third row to Carter and then Cole.
We've seen Shamar Turner play a number of positions, and I just wondered if you feel like he's most suited to play in that kind of role where he plays a bunch of different positions, or do you feel like it would be beneficial for him to settle into one position?
You go back and you look at guys like Kiki, the Marvin Leal, Justin Matabike. All those guys were guys that was versatile. Okay, they can line up outside, they can line up inside, and all it does is help these guys at the next level. Okay, you take the guessing game out. So when you get a guy special like that that can do more than one thing, it makes us better as a team.
We'll go front row on the right side to Cole and then Brent and Travis.
Coach, I know it's still a sore subject, but what was the biggest lesson that you ever learned underneath Coach Price?
Repeat
What was
that.
the biggest lesson that you ever learned underneath Coach Price?
Man, I learned so much from Coach Price. Just watching him, observing him, the type of father he was, the husband he was, and just the way anybody can call out and reach out on him. He's always going to be available. So the biggest thing I learned from him, man, is just enjoy life and enjoy the BlackBerry moments. We had a speaker come in, and he talked about enjoy the BlackBerry moments, just unscripted life. That's what I learned from Coach Price. Enjoy the small times, the small moments.
And then you talk a little bit about versatility on the defensive line. With Walter shedding the weight, do you feel like he's going to be more versatile to work more inside, outside, or do you think he's still going to be permanently more of an inside guy?
Well, he's a guy that we used at inside and outside last year as well. His role can increase as long as he can handle learning those roles, So he shedded some weight, but I think he kept his strength. So he'll be a guy that can be versatile for us as well.
Stay on the front row to Brent and then Travis.
Coach, your early impressions of the new indoor complex, I think it's one of the biggest in the nation, if not the biggest, and also kind of getting out of that 105-degree heat as well.
Yeah, first of all, we're grateful, for those that made that available to us, and I think our guys, the moment they had a chance to walk in there and realize, man, we have an opportunity to get so much work done in there. And those guys know they're appreciative for everything we got here. So that makes it efficient for us to go from inside to outside, just having the space. So it helps us definitely, when we play inside.
When you've recruited so well on the defensive line, how do you keep all of those guys happy? Is it better on the defensive line because you are able to maybe sub more freely? But how do you keep all those guys happy when you have so many kind of star players, I guess you'd say?
I mentioned this earlier. When a unit, there's no distance of where a unit can go, as long as they understand that it doesn't matter who gets the credit. And those guys are close. They spend a lot of time together. They have a real relationship with each other. And those guys, they always talk about everybody shines together. That's what they say. So when you got a unit that's unselfish They don't care who gets the credit. It doesn't matter how many in the room, as long as we had a success at the end of the day.
We'll stay on the front row to Travis.
Coach, what new challenges does Bobby Petrino's offense bring to someone who's scheming defensively?
Like I said, that whole offensive staff is an elite group of men. They do a really good job just coaching each unit up to the top tee. You know, so every day for us is, man, just attacking the ordinary things. And you have to do that and stay disciplined going against our offense.
We'll go third row on the left side to Tyler.
Which, how much emphasis this offseason has been improving the stopping the run game, and I guess what gives you confidence that you guys will be better in that area this year?
You know, I think that's always, in order to rush the passer, you got to stop the run. You know, so we emphasize it every day. Those guys are working to it. They understand that that's the emphasis that we have to get better at this season. So, like I said, we take full responsibility of making sure that gets done.
Anything else for Coach Robinson? We'll wrap it up with Sam Kahn on the left side.
Rob, you've been here for a few years. I'm curious, what are your impressions about the way Coach Fisher runs this program, and what have you taken away from some of the things that he's implemented in this program?
But Coach Fisher, the first thing I say about Coach Fisher is when he talks about family, it's real. You know, you see our family, you see our kids, our wives around. Our coach is available to our players. I think that's the first and foremost, the biggest thing, that he's available to all of us as a staff. He's available to our players. When he preach family, he preach family. That's the most important thing. And he talks about doing the ordinary things. And I think that transitions not just to football, but for life. And our guys, I truly feel comfortable that our guys will be able to live a life after football when the air goes out the way he runs this program and prepares our guys.
All right. Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.